Yeah, right. This your boy DJ Rowe. We about to get down. Anna's historical podcast. It's going down. We got some of that duck soup hit music. Shout out to Age and all the duck soup affiliates. So we're gonna do this, man. It's your boy DJ Rowe.
This is a tragedy. I can only imagine what these parents are going through. I think all of us have to do some soul searching to figure out how does something like this happen.
This is
I'm a pot smoking, disrespectful asshole. From the bay, but left my heart in Castro. Busy writing lyrics, washing dishes for the cash flow. Hard to keep track of the goddamn gram smoke. But I gotta stay sane. You be with the dogs, I be with my Great Danes. They all call me Cash, I've been trying to make change. Could've moved to LA, they all do the same thing as me. Was recording with Don and Jay Lee. Jay Lee had about a half recording these songs, and maybe have to roll the blunt or two. Minimal talking, the smoking doesn't stop even after your mama walking blunts. I still being passed, still coughing, promising we gon' be real till we in coffins. Tryna make a slap that the Moopy girls can vibe to. R.I.P. my nigga, you know Mookie had to slide through. You know Spitter had to rhyme too. Me and my homies see the thing that you're blind to. It's like you're blind fool. It's like your mind's fool. I got my mind full cause I stay mindful. Get stung, get you threat. My beehive hate and get this. It's my black behind. Good vibes, feeling better than a weed high. Trying to shoot some birdies, but don't know when the tea time is. Trying to be the best since we was kids. Trying to be the rest, but too busy getting lit. Trying to sheet a text that next to certain kids. Looking over shoulders, finna surely wasting time. Was supposed to write an essay, but too busy writing rhymes. In the corner, reminiscing, rapping about the different times. I was later underrated. If you hate it, you could die. Man, I'm kidding, but listen when the nigga on the mic, cause I got shit I gotta say. It's been a few years, still got homies in the A. She was talking about some shows, me and Magic like okay. Feeling comfy in these clothes as I'm sitting in this cave. Getting high for all the lows that I witness every day. I got love for where I stay, but I gotta move away. No, it's cheaper in the desert, so I'm living in the bay. Cause the people in the desert look at you at different ways. And I hate it, rather walk down Market Street, seeing people negative. You walk down Market Street, see me with my tape in my backpack. Double tree, switching flavor grape, having flashbacks, making tracks up at Scotty Bays. Dropped a 5-track, Dopey P, took a couple weeks with the truth, sister in the book original. I think a little more. Who is this written for? Myself, listen though, listen up and learn some things you didn't know. True feeling show, but they changed like an episode. Waiting for the bus, selling white kids oregano. Fights cause I'm light skinned, tights in the middle school. Filling lines cause spitting rhymes is a little cool, a little kind, but a little rude. If you're down to get a little high, you could kick it too. Man, it's been a minute trying to finish what I started. Niggas got me in their cars already, but they retarded. Ain't no water, else LeBron, they had to water my apartment. Saying Pablo through the rich. I was mobbing what you talking about. Working on all these fucking songs, never clocking out. After work, after rap a verse up at Donnie's house. Well, it's not Donnie's house, it's his homie's house. I got a half and a swisher and a 40 ounce. I'm drinking 40s, better hold me down. Shout out to Bay, that's where it's going down. Hey.
What you doing? Putting the V on the map. I got the V on my back. I come kill your party for a couple of stacks. I go hella hard to put the V on the map. What you doing? Putting the V on the map. I got the V on my back. I come kill your party for a couple of stacks. I go hella hard to put the V on the map. I go hella hard to put the V on the map. I come to your party with the knockers and slaps. Man, I go hella hard and you knowin' that though. Mr. Management, I told this girl drop it low. I want that ass to move, I wanna see you groove. I'm from the RBR camp, man, I told you dudes. We on the move, going fast in the fast lane. Smoking on some gas, man, it's burning like some propane. Backwoods, rolled up, married to the Mary Jane. On a mission for the money, trying to get the chickens up. Feeling like Earl and Furl, your girl give me the pearl. Because she see me on my grind, trying to run the world. I'm on some white sand, drink with some chicks in bikinis. And you see me somewhere, trying to look Kundalini. I'm a boss man, chest game, don't need you to key me. Put the V on my back, last night should've seen me. What you doing? Putting the V on the map. I got the V on my back. I come kill your party for a couple of stacks. I go hella hard to put the V on the map. What you doing? Putting the V on the map. I got the V on my back. I come kill your party for a couple of stacks. I go hella hard to put the V on the map.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, gentlemen. That what you have inside of your clutch at the current moment, that is a product of the future. This is something which allows you to see inside of the future. See the world as you would love to see it. Tell me, sir. What do you see?
Man, I see me moving objects with my head. And when it turn nighttime, the sky's red. Flame blows from the poles up on my bed. 6 holes on it, one between my legs. Everyone's a freak, everyone's real. Everyone speaks how everyone feels. Everyone's chill. Nobody has to hide in how you look in the mirror's how you look inside. Dance, or a damn, a dozen. No need for money and no need for you to budget. No need to do whatever if you do not love it. Ain't no need to walk cause we fly above shit. Believe in unity. There's one company in the world called Unipeace. All sales is the underlying true belief. I got a piece cause this price tag too much for me. Imagine a pair of shades that you seen in the store that let you see your future and what it has in store. What if it let you make the world how you would like to be? Once you put it on, what do you see?
What do I see?
You see, it's quite simple, sir. The world is not what you perceive it to be, sir. The world, once you put it on, is what you make it, sir.
What do I see? Sight for the blind, direction for the mind. No such thing as unemployment lines. Every crib got a view, stacks to the roof. What's a W2 when you work for you? Trips to paradise is just off the stoop. Voluptuous females in European coupes. Aviator status, sleeping in the stratus. Just left the funeral for poverty's passing. Crimes cremation, war's execution. Writing a speech for President Peace, introducing the candidate who won by unanimous decision. Running her 6 turns straight out, such persistence. Commander-in-chief of the U.S. That's you, me, everyone, everywhere, yeah, U.S. Damn, lenscraft of magnification. Seeing inside, peace got assassinated.
Imagine a pair of shades that you seen in the store.
Down in the deep dark ooze. Down in the deep dark ooze. Darkness sticks to the edge of my shoes. So I stomp on a twisted fantasy inflicted as I traverse through society's sickness. Trapped in a box alone. As we roam, discovering buried bones of a past that's never shown. Suicidal spirits etch, we fear it on their bloody skin. With a note to their mother, father, next of kin. This is a game we can never win. We're born to die, our brains are fried from sin. Addictive personality disorder. Personally, these pills keep me on the border between this world, I'm the one to come. Who really knows, cause life's holding us ransom. So we'll never see above the clouds, lost in a haze, fists raised to the destructive crowd. Take the mental and put it down with a pencil. Carve out the store of your life to an instrumental. Listen to your heart and remember to stay gentle. We're only human and this life is only a rental. Take the mental and put it down with a pencil. Carve out the story of your life to an instrumental. Listen to your heart and remember to stay gentle. We're only human and this life is only a rental. They're you alive and spit you out. When hope arrives, I'll tell them what it's all about. This is the mentality we carry in our everyday. What can I say? We just don't talk about our inner ways. So we bottle it up and hold it in. Hold it so tight, our sanity is down to thin. But things will be alright, harmonize with the hymn. Believe that there's hope, even chances are slim. Disconnect from the ego, i.e. this is how we grow. The health of the mind is all that we want, but we just don't know how to speak out. Just seek out those that hold you down. You're pound for pound worthy of all the happiness to be found. You deserve to be happy and free.
Like a thick bitch, sweeter than candy. I keep the heater hot, that motherfucker come in handy. I run my own shit, nigga, I'm the owner. Bananas with the clips, gorillas on the corner. Ain't nothing fake about me, nigga, this is my persona. You don't really want the drama, nigga, I put that on my mama. I'm a 707 nigga, reppin' California. And the only time I sober when I'm blowing marijuana, nigga. They treat me like a villain, nigga, really, I'm just chillin'. A penny for your thought, shit, my mind is worth $1 million. Catch a nigga slippin', bet your fate a nigga ceiling. So I say fuck the world and continue with my mission. Sippin' on this Henny shit, it got me kinda tipsy. I'm all up in my feelings, R.I.P. my nigga Nipsey. Only real when I'm talking, I don't need to fucking lie. Why I try to be the hardest, I don't need to fucking try, nigga. Wait a minute, I'm just trying to clean my plate. Too much heat for these niggas, got I'm pushing back their gates. Wait a minute, we been sippin' on this potent. Catch us at the light, real ones in the bucket, hella choking. Wait a minute, nigga, when shit was going down, I be the realest motherfucker, never had to dust the crown, nigga. Wait a minute, nigga. On my mama, nigga, I ain't never lied. MOS until my death, nigga, I'm hustle certified, nigga. I walk like a hustler, I talk like a hustler. This game is like a blunt, I'm here to smoke the motherfucker. Mediocre, never winning in my bloodline. Been at this forever, hustle game and part-time. Got the game from my unk, yeah, I got an old soul. Got a tongue hot as Hades and I'm so damn cold. Said I got an old soul, fuck with me, feel the heat. California earthquake, a nigga heavy in these streets. Don't fuck with these niggas, don't play with a bitch. Convo ain't about money, you ain't talking about shit. Done found a nigga niche, motherfucker, I'm the shit. Disrespectful with the spit, figure 8 in this bitch. Who you niggas really with when we at the finish line? Fucking future so bright, you can see it if you're blind. I might leave this bitch tomorrow, I ain't wasting no time. Niggas playing with these streets, but ain't no kidding about mine. Wait a minute, I'm just trying to clean my plate. Too much heat for these niggas, got I'm pushing back their gates. Wait a minute, we been sipping on this potent. Catch us at the light, real ones in the bucket, hella choking. Wait a minute, nigga, when shit was going down, I be the realest motherfucker, never had to dust the crown. Wait a minute, nigga. On my mama, nigga, I ain't never lied. MOS until my death, nigga, I'm hustle certified, nigga.
Let me tell you this.
Woman of very few words, and that's in a lot.
Living in the underground, always looking up. Currently the world just ain't enough. Been holding on to love and to trust, but life's far from just numb and rough. Been grinding just to move on up, when reality hands out heavy fucking slugs. Testing the internal fortitude of my intestines. Blessings don't lessen the pain of the lessons. I'll only switch up to flip up my middle finger. Fuck it, the game and I are no strangers. Won't let this go for death and no danger. It's my time, I'll fucking spit for 5 fingers. Cause who needs the light of a lighter when you can light a fire with a cipher? And I am the direction of the future, so let me take you there like I'm the Uber.
I'm a woman of very few words, and that's in a lot.
Everything worth living for is real. Make the choice, deal or no deal. You go get it before it's the final meal. Once it's gone for real. God gave me the strength to heal. Take this pain to turn the wheel. Make life one that truly feels like it's forever real.
Nobody ever believed it was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yeah, this your boy DJ Rowe. We on Anna's Historical Podcast. You just got through listening to some of that T for Love and some of that Cat is on, man. Shout out to T for Love, man. I think she was performing this Sunday or last Sunday. She performed on I think it was Post and Larkin. Man, it was live, man. They had something going down. Cut them up, entertainment. So you got to check them out, man. I think they got something going down today on Saturday. So let's check that out, man. But we're going to keep it going with some more Catacomb. This is DJ Rowe and this Historical Podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. Huh? It's a deep shit, nigga. Yeah. Last time I checked, Sativa was the motherfucker. Damn. Every bitch I serve say a nigga bring the thunder. Boom. Fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, I'm a cold nigga. Fuck 'em, went from a fluffy to a fucking swole nigga. Hey, all about the bags, where the cash at? Dwelling in my past, I was the one they used to laugh at. Told the bitch I'm ballin' now, okay, where the ass at? For years I've been up buzzing on this mic. Fuck your ass, man. Fuck it. Told you niggas I was in it for the long haul. Never been a hater, but hating got me saying fuck y'all. Gang of motherfuckers, they been waiting on my downfall. The crown I wish they couldn't, but I would not let that bitch fall. I be gassing rear posse ski skirting on them. Tear the booty down, put a hurting on them. Yeah, say a prayer for my haters, got me working on them. Do it. Plugged on this music shit, serve them what they want. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about him. Yeah, real nigga fly shit, iceberg dripping. Drip, thinking I'ma stop, motherfucker, you tripping. Run up on me, nigga, give you blues like you're crippin'. 12 pots with dope in them on the stove in the kitchen. Mama say your palms itching, and that mean the money coming. I've been on my own forever, nigga, I ain't asked for nothing. I've been blowing draw forever, nigga, only Cali puffin'. I've been pushing to the metal, nigga, trying to get to something. Getting bright past the bullshit, straight to the cheddar. Got a bitch they call Netta, she a super freaking leather. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, swear it ain't nobody better. I was brought up by the realest, will I trust a nigga? Never. I was born a fucking winner since was in my mama womb. Wanna test me, nigga, fuck it, we can go there if you choose. If we go there, facts, my nigga, I'ma do the fucking fool. I'm the motherfucking nigga, I don't do this shit. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about him, yeah. Bring this wet shit back, nigga. Blaze up. Going in on these motherfuckers. Back, nigga. I'm going in on these motherfuckers. I'ma bring this wet shit back, nigga. I'm going in on these motherfuckers. I'ma bring this wet shit back, nigga. I'm going in on these motherfuckers. I've been hustling all my life, nigga. On this microphone, I ain't nothing nice, nigga. Never having nothing, always want something hard, grinding, sacrificing, paying dues with my life, nigga. Yeah, hear him saying he ain't paid enough. On the reverse, to me saying I don't give a fuck. You know we smoked out everywhere that he go. Grinding pushing units like I'm about to move a kilo. Been rhyming, been spitting, been had the gift. Yeah, check the Moss catalog, we been dropping shit. West Coast shit clean, boy, we keep it crisp. If you don't smell a blunt burning, one getting lit. Streets is talking, asking when the next chapter dropping. Tell them niggas streets and money all we got in common. So real about this game, he ain't with the faking. Pull up, spit a fucking ways with my sister, fuck a nigga with. I'ma keep it mob. There's a TV in your trunk, got a nigga head bobbing. Tell him what it is, bro. Nigga, it's that shit right here, though. That West Coast shit slapping through your ear. I'ma keep it lit here. I'ma keep it mob. There's a TV in your trunk, got a nigga head bobbing. Tell him what it is, bro. Nigga, it's that shit right here, though. That West Coast shit slapping through your ear.
You just as bad as your dog.
Yo, it's a given that as long as I've been living, ain't no grown man finna come over, visit, sit back and just listen like his whole program's depending on how this conversation goes. Soak it up just right and you'll be winning. No, I swear I heard that shit before, like I spilled that shit before. Pine salt and mist cleaned up off my kitchen floor. Matter of fact, where you been hiding your pen and paper? Gave me verbatim, so where you hiding all the paper? I know you been guapping off all them girls you been copping. It's just you must have forgot. I wrote the rules, you got a copy. Peeped your grown man exterior, but what's behind that? What I'm saying should put fear in you, cause I could take it back. My name in the game is to come completely original. Imitation is the lowest form of flattery to me. Imitation is the lowest form of flattery to me, cause boy, you got your game from me.
I'm a beast off the lease. I be standing in the streets, turned up like Chris Bosh. I be playing with the heat. Put my gun to the beat, cause I'm demanding to eat. I recite verses, I'm something like a priest. I'm in explosive mode, so I write to keep my head straight. Everybody telling me it's time for me to detonate. Way before FrostedFlakes.com being great. So I'm finna choke the rap game, I'm a fast snake. I spit game, I advise you to soak it. I was born a drug, got you feeling for a dosage. Foes so sick, I'm killing them, I'm the culprit. If it's for the mail, why stamping no posters? I'm Ghost Town finest, Bathgate mad hot, cause I'm on top. My head bigger than the mascot. Getting money in Oakland, I don't think a bad spot. 3-digit code on the vote with a padlock. I strike with a flame, don't compare me to matches. Every time you see me, I be sticking like a cactus. Swag up the par, bitches on me like a jacket. It only take a call to get invited to their mattress. Been to 6 states, you won't find me in New England. Stay clowning everywhere I go like the ringless. Shining like a kingpin, I'm doing my thing, man. I'm so fly, you can check a nigga wingspan. We can talk beef if you hungry, I'ma feed you. I move like a cheetah with more stripes than a zebra. It's a cold world, so I bounce out with the heater. Sliding on the nigga till he thinking I'm a visa. I turn soft to hard acts, yeah, he be whipping it. Money on my mind, I find time to be getting it. Niggas who maneuver like hoes be ridiculous. Behaving like a pussy when you're supposed to be hitting it.
World premiere. New age Scott. World premiere. Yo fam, I believe in you, never deceiving you. Believe it's true. No matter whatever the situation, no time for playing, hating, or naysaying. Feel me, bruh? Listen to the hook. I got your back when these fake ass thugs be hella shook. Look. No matter what the seasons be, if you're my family, I believe in you. Yo, G, please believe in me. Agedelic will always ride for you. Yo fam, I'm trying to inspire you. I say to those that I love, I believe in you and no one else does. So go for Delph, believe in you.
Yeah, hey everybody, it's your boy DJ Ro. I want to give a shout out to Shantae. What's going down, Shantae? Age and the whole Duck Soup crew. You know what I'm saying? Bumping and doing their thing is normal.
Yeah.
But we're about to start in a few minutes. I have Anna is on right now.
I am on. Yes.
Hey Anna.
Yes. Hey Roselle.
Yes, check this out. I want to play a song by Tifa Love real quick.
Yeah, please
It's a song
do.
that one of Age artists has. So
yeah,
she came on the mic on Sunday And she was pretty good, man. And I found a gem, man. I found one of her songs. And I was like, Age, man, how come you never played this song? This is actually a cool song. So I'm about to put it on in a minute. So after I put it on, we'll start the show. Is that cool?
Yeah, she's real talented.
All right.
Every day. The odds don't against us, but we can get it done every day, though. Yo, all my people out here surviving. I believe in you, bro. I believe in you, sis. Keep shining, keep shining.
Let me tell you this.
I'm a woman of very few words, and that's in a lot.
Living in the underground, always looking up. Currently the world just ain't enough. Been holding on to love and to trust, but life's far from just numb and rough. Been grinding just to move on up, when reality hands out heavy fucking slugs. Testing the internal fortitude of my intestines. Blessings don't lessen the pain of the lessons. I'll only switch up to flip up my middle finger. Fuck it, the game and I are no strangers. Won't let this go for death and no danger. It's my time, I'll fucking spit for 5 fingers. Cause who needs the light of a lighter when you can light a fire with a cipher? And I am the direction of the future, so let me take you there like I'm the Uber.
I'm a woman of very few words, and that's in a lot.
Everything worth living for is real. Make the choice, deal or no deal. You go get it before it's the final meal. Once it's gone for real. God gave me the strength to heal. Take this pain to turn the wheel. Make life one that truly feels like it's forever real.
Nobody ever believed he was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yeah. All right, everybody. This is your boy DJ Rowe. And here we go with Anna's Historical Podcast Radio.
Here we go, everybody. What's up? That was Tifa. Tifa Love.
Much love to Tifa Love and Age, man. That was that's
Yes.
dope, man. I love that. The name of the song was Underground by Tifa Love. It was dope.
Yes, yes. Very talented lady. I just sent her a message to see if she wanted to come on the show. So yes, Tifa's awesome. So yeah, you gonna come out and like show your real face, Roselle? Can't hear you.
Boom.
Boom. So what's up, man? How was your
That's
week?
all I said was boom.
I know. Did you have a good week?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It was a very good week.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. It's important. It's important. Do anything. Yeah. Did you go out of town?
No, I was still in town.
Yeah.
Just kind of chilled around the house, around
Yeah.
the area.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah. Wow. So okay, so it's May 25th. How's everybody doing out there? This month has flown by. So supposedly California is supposed to open back up on June 15th.
You said June 15th?
Yeah, that's what Newsom said.
Let's see.
I know. Well, I'm vaxxed, so I was just at a gathering for Pearl Pinson, who's been missing for 5 years. Shantae! Oh my God, it's the queen right there. So
She said something about a fundraiser she has going that she's thinking about doing for kids.
Oh yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, hey Shantae, you want to come on for a couple minutes and tell us about it?
Yeah, come on and tell us about it.
I'll send her a link.
Cool.
We have not had the queen on here for a while. Yeah, there's some people I was gonna have on from who do stuff in Vallejo, but Vallejo is so fucking crazy right now. I don't even want to deal, man. It is just too much drama. People are pissed off. Okay, so
oh boy, yeah, you gotta enlighten everybody, man, because I want to know about this.
I don't know how you met. Where would you? I don't know. I almost don't even believe you live. Oh, she's at work. Oh well, next time,
okay.
Baby. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't believe you live here sometimes.
You know what it is? I literally live here. I'm really from Richmond, so I spend majority of my time usually in Richmond, or usually unless I'm going to work and back at work. So over here, the only people I really know here is you.
Really?
You. Yeah, when Age was living here. I mean, I don't really know nobody like to be just kicking it with them except for you.
Yeah.
So if I'm kicking it with you, you'd be the one I'm kicking it with.
Oh, I know, man. And you're the best. We've been kicking it since 2017.
Yes,
oh my
God. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Shantae. Well, yeah, we'll send you the link next time. But yeah, because yeah, we've been doing that. We've gone through some incarnations. Okay, so what's going on in Vallejo is that 2 years ago, City Council voted to purchase a building on the waterfront for the cops, because the cops headquarters is really unsafe. It has like nasty, the water, the pipes are corroded, it's falling apart. There's asbestos. So yeah, we've talked about that with Christians sometimes. People can't separate that from all the problems that Vallejo has with cops, the violence, the abuse. So, and that's rough. And so people are mad right now because they opened up a section of the police department that's because they're down there anyway. They've been doing some stuff, and they opened up a section which is supposed to be like a debriefing, like a place to interview people. That's like a real room, not like children and crime victims. Yeah, like a family service, like a services sort of place. And people are really mad about that because they don't want it to be at the cop station. So the way my mind works is they've bought it already. Okay, so I have not yet heard one person who's still pissed off at it come up with a solution for that. Like, okay, well, they can't get the money back. I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm not crazy about it, but they did it. And the idea of, people don't want this services place to be in the police department. Well, yeah, it would be nice if it could be someplace else, but this town is poor as fuck. There isn't another place to put it. And they're talking about how you know, people don't like to go to the police department, and so it shouldn't be there. Well, yeah, people don't like to go to the police department. I mean, it's like hospitals, sort of. It's like, yeah, people don't like going. I mean, there's places where people do not like to go because you are only there for bad reasons. And I guess the problem is, I mean, people come in for, like, it would be used to speak to sexual assault victims. So it's a whole lot of people that, it would be nice to have it someplace else, but you know, the place is there. And how my mind works is like, just do it. Okay, there are like so many things wrong. If there is an option to have a place like that, you know, a more chill, hospitable sort of place where people can maybe be a little bit more comfortable, just do it. You know, I mean, it's the job of whomever is doing the debriefing or whatever to try and help people feel more comfortable with being at the police station. So, and the city's not paying for it. It's funds that come from other sources, basically. So, you know, you need to have places like that. They did something like this in Seattle, like several years ago. They wanted to build a new juvenile facility, and people were really mad about that because there's too many incarcerated youth, which is true. But so what they did was make it more of they put other services into the building, like social workers and reunification. And so, like, when families came to visit their kids, there were places for them to have meetings to try and make plans for when they got out, for people to have family sessions. So I mean, if you do that, you can make a place. And I mean, it was a smart way to do it because people needed to vote on it. And most people are not, a lot of people are going to be like, a lot of parents are going to be like, well, I don't want to vote for juvie. I want to vote for, you know, the schools or something. So if you put like youth services in there, it's more tolerable to people. So you have more options. So, you know, I mean, so there was a demonstration. So there was going to be a ribbon cutting, and then they canceled it because people were mad. And so then they kind of had it anyway. But what I think is like super fucking pathetic is that Mayor what's his name was down there with the protesters. It's like, that's bullshit, man. Show some fucking responsibility. Your ass has been on the council for 10 years. You knew about this shit. And he said he didn't know what was going. Well, it's your job to know what's going on. And he, you know.
You know how it is, though. They gotta come up with some excuse, man, and that's usually the last and final straw. Is, well, I didn't know what was going on. So
that's why
if you play dumb, it's more They think of it as negligence. So they play the dumb. Oh, I don't know what's happening. You know, you Scooby-Doo the whole situation. That's what Scooby-Doo do all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why I call him the Bernie Sanders of Vallejo. I mean, he says a lot of stuff that people don't like. He says a lot of stuff that people like to hear, but doesn't do anything about it. You know, I mean, everybody's mad about the cops, the police station, so he can just come on their side and act like he hasn't been up there at the council all along. Like, oh yeah, I'm one of, because he knows there's nothing they can fucking do about it. They bought the place. So
hey, Anna, you got to leave my boy Burn Dog out of this. Burn Dog had nothing to do with this. Don't put Burn Dog into this.
But it's the same thing. he does the same fucking thing, man. It's like he just says stuff. He says stuff that people don't want. He says stuff that people like to hear that won't happen. So, I mean, he doesn't have the guts to say things that people don't like. That's what I don't like about him. And so now he's down there talking about how the council's divided. Well, show some fucking leadership, man. So yeah, and a couple of the counselors are, yeah. So there's a city council meeting going on tonight. So there will be fireworks. So yeah, so. But, you know, I mean, meanwhile, and it's the people making the most noise about the police station are white progressives. The white progressives in this town that talk about everything, that get into everything, and then most of the people of color that are against it are young adults, and they have some movements. None of the Black clubs or organizations or anything have come out against this. You know, I mean, if it was a bunch of Black folks down there demonstrating in front of the police station, I would feel differently about it, but it isn't. So yeah, that's Vallejo for you. Seriously. So okay. Oh, and so okay, so rest in peace to George Floyd. This was the 1 year anniversary of his death, and Biden hosted his family at the White House. So there were pictures of George Floyd's daughter, like right in the White House, and his whole family. And then, but one of Floyd's sisters boycotted the meeting and said, you know, she was mad because Biden hadn't gotten the legislation through Congress yet. So I was like, man, I'm impressed with that. You know, I mean, see, that's somebody that, like, whoa, the president invited you to something and you just came right back at him with this. See, I respect that. You know, I mean, it's not, so yeah. So, and he had Karen Bass was there, who's sponsoring the George Floyd bill, which is, I believe, which is to create a national database of cops that have been fired, of cops with claims against them, because as it is now, there isn't. And as we well know, they can just go someplace else and get another job. So they're trying to do that. But I guess the biggest problem is the police union is national. I mean, so that's partially why, I mean, the police chief of Vallejo I happen to believe he's done what he's doing, what he can. I mean, I wrote to him saying like, hey man, you know, I saying like, hey, I support you. He's been there for a year. Vallejo cops have been killing people for 20 years. He's doing the best he can. And so to try and deal with the situation, but police unions have a lot of power. I mean, there's laws, and rules that need to be changed. He can't just, I mean, see that's why, again, I don't want to dwell on it, but that's why, I mean, elected officials, unelected officials, people just need to be honest about what they can and cannot do. Just because you have an official title or something, you can't just do what you want. So the police union is the police officers. I mean, basically the idea that that cops can't be, that's why it's so hard to charge cops with a crime, because for killing somebody, because it's practically, like doctors have malpractice insurance in case somebody dies on their watch. And so I think that the way that the police unions use that concept is the same sort of thing. Because, I mean, there's some jobs where, yeah, you do need to have protection. And like, for example, the guy that kidnapped Pearl Pinson was hiding in a suburban area, and this was the day he kidnapped her, and then the next day they found him, and he came out of a house firing his gun all over the place. So they shot him, and that's what they needed to, I mean, that's what they had to do. And so, in circumstances like that, that was justified. I mean, so yeah, you need protection for circumstances like that, but then they use it to their own advantage for, I mean, situations like here, like a case in Vallejo was finally, like, one of the things the chief of police here has done is try to have some of these cases investigated by outsiders, because the police unions make it so cops investigate themselves, and nobody should be able to investigate themselves. I mean, that's so, yeah, it's fucked up, real fucked up. So yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Floyd.
Yep, rest in peace.
Yeah. Okay, so here's some news from Zimbabwe. President Emerson Mnangagwa has unveiled a statue of Charwa Nyakasikana, a 19th century warrior. She was one of the leaders of the first armed resistance against the colonial settlers. She was a spirit medium, and she mobilized a fight against colonialism before her capture and execution by Cecil Rhodes. Zimbabwe used to be called Rhodesia because a British guy named Cecil Rhodes, like, basically took it all over and took over the whole fucking country. And so that comes up a lot. We've talked about Rhodes must fall. Like, okay, Rhodes Scholars, you hear about Rhodes Scholars. I think Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. The problem with somebody like that is they put their money into, like, they could put their money into some things that are good, but it's blood money. How do you deal with that? So, that's what we have been, like, we've talked before about some of the scholars that are trying to take down statues of Cecil Rhodes. some of the people that are, one of the universities tried to strike a deal with putting a sculpture of Alan Locke, the African-American philosopher, next to Rhodes. They're like, okay, well, can we leave him up if we put a sculpture of Alan Locke there? I don't even think, because Alan Locke was a Rhodes Scholar, I don't even think there's a statue of Alan Locke in the United States. He was a philosopher and a professor at Howard University, and so he was a very important figure. But I mean, philosophy professors don't usually get sculptures of them. So anyway, this is why this has become a story that so she was captured and executed by Cecil Rhodes' government in 1898. Her skull, along with other leaders of the rebellion, are thought to have been taken to Britain as war trophies. President Mnangagwa said negotiations continue to have the skull returned along with those of the others. What is it with colonialists and body parts? They're like fucking barbarians. Like, okay, you executed this person and then you don't even bury them. It's really horrible. We've been talking for a couple of years about Patrice Lumumba's Patrice Lumumba, the revolutionary leader of DR Congo, who was killed by Belgians, and he was like beaten to death, and then his body was dissolved in chemicals. But somehow a tooth made it back to Belgium, and his family has been fighting to get that back. Last I checked, they were sending it back. I mean, me and my dad are always sort of curious about, like, well, couldn't they just lie? I mean, I guess, can you check DNA with it from a tooth?
I heard you can now.
Okay.
I heard something about that.
Okay.
So I don't know how true and how far they can go, but I heard you can.
Okay, Belgium. Well, you better not be faking, because
we will definitely find out. We'll see.
We will. We're watching you, Belgium. Okay. The Rick Museum of Slavery just opened and reopened, and what they've done is something that many museums have a really hard time doing it. They are trying to show the reality of the slave trade and what their country did. So they are depicting, they have like human collars and ankle chains, and are explaining real explanations of what that was. And so, you know, I mean, I just applaud them for trying to do the right thing. Museums need to be places for people to develop humanity and understand responsibility. And you can't understand the world today if you don't understand the past. There's this quote that always says, which I think is kind of stupid. Everybody says this quote, like, those who don't remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And I don't like quotes that everybody says. I think that kind of misses the point. I think if you don't understand the past, you don't understand the present. You need to understand where people are coming from. and why things are how they are. So, I'm like, forget repeating stuff. Like, I mean, history repeats itself whether we know about it or not. I don't think that humanity really changes that much. People might like to think we do, but I think we don't. That has certainly come up quite a bit over the past 2 weeks with the violence in Israel and Palestine. What's amazing about that dispute is both sides pretty much say they each have the same, and I'm just narrowing this down because people on both sides say that their opponents don't know the history, and people on both sides say that the media is unfair. I mean, I swear, man, I don't know everybody, and that's the other thing that's funny, like, just every news outlet talks about the mainstream media like it's not them. So my head was just practically spinning. And our world is just so huge. There's so much noise and chatter and reporting that you're always going to be able to find somebody saying something. So there's people that think the media is unfair to Israelis and people that think it's unfair to Palestinians. And I mean, the only thing I can think is try and like get a bunch of different sources. People knock Al Jazeera. I love Al Jazeera. I mean, some of the reporters, they're journalists. I mean, some of them, they have an opinion. Everybody has a fucking opinion. And just be honest about it. But they had the head of a Hamas official, and Hamas is the Palestinian group that was sending rockets into Israel, which were almost all intercepted. Okay, like that's how you can only tell half a story. I mean, the pro-Israeli people keep showing photos of the rockets and like, oh my God, this is so terrible. Like, yes, it is terrible. I would be scared if I were there, but they have something called an Iron Dome to intercept the missiles. Okay. 7 Israelis died and 200 Palestinians died over the past couple of weeks, and thousands of Palestinians have lost their home. Israel bombed a building that was a media center. Fucking Reuters News was in there. I mean, how mainstream can you get? They bombed it. And Al Jazeera was in there too. And so there was there was a warning, there was video of the journalists running around picking up their stuff to leave. And so talking about history, this destroyed the archives of these news organizations. And it's like, oh yeah, tell me they didn't do that on purpose. I mean, that's their logic. The logic is they're gonna wipe out Hamas, and they claim that Hamas is using civilians as shields, that Hamas they justify bombing an apartment building by saying Hamas has headquarters and has headquarters in there. And it's like, look, it's not okay to use, if somebody is using a civilian, it's like in the movies, okay? It's like if somebody like grabs a hostage and is standing there like pointing a gun at their head, you don't shoot them. That's just, you need to, it is not an excuse. It does not excuse killing people. The fucking hospital in Gaza was destroyed. A lot of their health infrastructure, I think, which means, I believe, like medical equipment and stuff like that was destroyed. I mean, there's thousands of a lot of their transportation was destroyed. I mean, they bombed the shit out of the place. And because of rockets being in it, and it's not, you can't, and the other aspect I find extremely disturbing is that, I mean, Hamas is not, they're not official. People didn't vote them in, and they're just, most people there didn't vote them in, and they don't have, so you could say that, okay, so, just because it's so explosive, like, okay, bring it back to the United States. I mean, it is just really different to me if your elected leaders send the military someplace. To me, that is just more legitimate, and we can not like it or not support it, but it does have more legitimacy than a fringe group. I mean, it's not like anybody, I mean, Israel's voting in these right-wing hawks, and a lot of them don't like it either. So it's pretty fucked up. As I said before, my family's, this is, yes, everybody, my family's Zionists. And so my brother.
Can you explain to everybody what Zionist is for the people who don't know?
Oh yeah. Okay, Zionism is the belief that Israel is the Jewish homeland, that it belongs to Jews. And Zionism was developed the term came about in the late 19th century by a French Jewish man named Theodore Herzl. And it was after the Dreyfus trial. The Dreyfus trial was a French official, I forget what his actual title was, that was executed because of anti-Semitism. And at the time, okay, people talk, again, I mean, this gets back to understanding the past. And there's government officials in Israel who will manipulate this to their advantage. But so, most people know about the Holocaust, but Jews were persecuted long before that. There were in Europe, there were events called pogroms, which was mob violence, random mob violence, where they would kill like villages, entire like like hundreds of Jews. I mean, I would consider it like tantamount to lynching. It's like, a mob takes over and sort of organized, targeted mob violence. So all that was happening to Jews in Europe. So they were trying to get to the state of Israel because of that, like before World War II, before the concentration camps. People were trying to escape from Europe. There were laws and rules about, Jews, like, this is, the term ghetto comes from Jews. Jews were supposed to live in ghettos. And so, I mean, people have that consciousness. And like, for me, I mean, I do have this sense. This is one reason, I mean, I am careful what I say, because I did grow up with this consciousness that saying the wrong thing could, or that violence can erupt, that, and that's the tradition was, it was said that Passover, Pesach, when Jews celebrate being freed from slavery in Egypt, and that was Jesus's Last Supper. He was celebrating that. It was a tradition that's associated with pogroms. There was a myth being put about that that Jews made matzah, which is the traditional unleavened bread that you eat at that time, out of blood. So that's why if you hear somebody say Jewish blood, Jews will freak out, because that's they will associate it with that. And see, that kind of gets to be the problem. And then there was also a belief that Jews had horns, and that was why, because Jewish men wear yarmulkes and hats, that was why they wore those, to hide the horns. So when people talk about anti-Semitism, they're talking about cultural memories, I guess, or cultural consciousness, things you grew up knowing about that happened. I mean, my grandparents came to this country, and their relatives that stayed behind were all killed. So that's what, so you had a whole lot of Jews, so you had Jews going to Israel even before World War II. And then there were massive movements but there were Jews that lived there, that were already living there, as you had massive transports to Israel by displaced Europeans, after the survivors of the concentration camps were put in they're called like displaced persons camps, and a lot of them went to the state of Israel. So what happened, Israel had been claimed by the Ottoman Empire, and that is what is now modern day Turkey. And they owned a whole bunch of the world, basically. and Great Britain, World War I, Great Britain claimed a bunch of the Ottoman Empire's territory. So that would have been including Palestine, as it was known then, and Syria, Iraq. I have to, I mean, basically after World War I, European nations carved up the world and basically, and so then after that, the British decided that maybe they could give this place to the Jews, but the old school, because there was basically insurrection by Jews against the British. They were like bombing. I mean, they were revolutionaries themselves. They were committing, crimes and stuff themselves. I mean, the early leaders of the state of Israel, I mean, up until the 70s, I mean, a lot of them, they were like fucking gangsters. I mean, they fought. So that was their consciousness. So there's generations. And so what's said by Palestinians today was that the Ottoman Empire and Great Britain carved up that area to give it to the Jews, and it wasn't theirs to give in the first place. That's the crux of it. And there's people that will fight me on this, but my belief is that the Palestinians were indigenous to that land. And so Zionists believe that this is the promised land, basically, like it says in the Bible. And that is just troublesome to me. I mean, I read the Bible, but I don't think that we should make modern political decisions based on the Bible. So 1948 was when, here's something I don't know. We talk about the state of Israel, but it's a country, not a state, I think. I don't know why it's called the state of Israel, but it is. So people's feelings about the state of Israel is that it is a refuge. They made any Jew can come to the state of Israel at any time and become a citizen, but they have managed to change that fucking rule for Black Jews. There are Black Jews in Ethiopia, and they were given, a bunch of them were brought to the state of Israel in the 70s, I think. And they were just given like permanent guest visas or something like that. There's still refugee camps of Ethiopian Jews that are trying to get to the state of Israel because their families are there, because their families were taken there. So, I mean, it's real fucked up. I think it's an extremely, there's validity, but I think it is not sufficiently acknowledged that much of this movement is white Europeans. And Arab Jews are called Mizrahi, and they came to the state of Israel after World War II, and were and are mistreated by a lot of people. They are underrepresented in government, and yeah, so they were abused, and they were also, I mean, many of them came to Israel because they were persecuted. Egyptian Jews from Israel, from Egypt, Jews from Yemen. So I think it's a very, very ugly history, but I just think some of it is the heritage of trauma, that you had people that were tortured and abused, and they were trying to find safety. And so it's got to be, so they're going to have real problems empathizing with others. I mean, when you've been, I don't even know, when your life, there are people that have lost all of their families, again, that had been tortured, traumatized. So you're trying to, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it would be pretty fucking hard to not just kind of be looking out for number one. I mean, and so I think there's a lot of that in that heritage. But so moving on to, it's 70 years later, one of the things that today's Zionists will say is that there needs to be a state of Israel so that Jews always have some place to go if they're persecuted. I was like, I'm not fucking going in. Like, no, you don't. If you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm not like judging individual, like, if individuals, I mean, I support individuals fleeing persecution if they can and want to do that. But if you set up a place just like that, that shouldn't be your justification for having a state. It's like, okay, well, in case, like, to me, that kind of is excusing and giving permission to people, to governments, to oppress you. And at this point, it's just stupid, man. Like, what? You like, okay, is everybody in the world supposed to do that? Come on. So, yes. So that was
man, that was deep.
That was real deep. But like, for example, my brother sent an email from called Hopes, but I think it was a typo. I think that there must have been an article attached. I think he forgot to attach an article, but I knew what he was talking about. Oh, but so what, as we've talked about before, Israel has had 4 governments in the past 2 years. So the prime minister, I mean, it's pretty much believed that the prime minister was pretty pleased to get an opportunity to just bomb some shit and make his government look good. So, so my dad said, my dad is such a great writer. He's like, I don't see even a glimmer of hope. Even when Bibi goes, that's the prime minister. The Haredim, settlers, and Jews who came from Arab lands will continue to multiply and dominate. Those are the people, the settlers that are claiming land in that the entire world considers to be occupied territory that Israel says is theirs. So that's the ongoing problem. And Israel says that people that don't think this land belongs to them are anti-Semites. So my dad says there's such a minute constituency of people like your friend Sam who feels that Arabs are human beings. My dad said the three great modern Israeli novelists all dealt with Arabs treated like non-humans, and as a result, they were called traitors. And yeah, so one of them wrote a novel called, people get called traitors for criticizing politics. And then my dad the end of his thing was, and we also have to witness the blatant anti-Semitism of the US lefties who cheer the rocketing of Tel Aviv. Now, I deeply disagree with that. And, my dad just turned 89. I'm not about to get in an argument with him about it.
Congratulations to your dad.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nobody is cheering. Yeah, I was like, but my dad's generation, this was real. This was real to them. My dad's brother was on a rescue boat bringing refugee Jews to Israel. My grandparents Zionism was huge for my grandparents. When I was a kid, I had a t-shirt. I had t-shirts and clothes saying I am a Zionist. I didn't know, so they owned property in the state of Israel. They donated a lot of money to the state of Israel, advocated. It was just a huge thing for them. And that's how I grew up. And I was sent to, Orthodox Jewish school, and everybody believed that this land belonged to the Jews. So it really wasn't, and I didn't know anybody else that talked about this. So that was just very much something I took for granted for years. I never heard anything different. And I basically had a pretty shitty education otherwise. So, and things changed. The politics have changed in my lifetime. There's more and more people that have changed their minds. So there is a belief. This is something my niece keeps posting, like, tell me that anti-Semitism. There is a belief, and again, I don't have conversations like this with my family, that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, which is ridiculous. There are many Jews that are anti-Zionist, people that simply believe that nobody has a right to any particular piece of land if they're not indigenous. And So there is nothing anti-Semitic about that. And so we talked a lot about nationalism, and yeah, it's the same thing as nationalism. I mean, just because you don't have like nobody has special rights to a country, basically, and certainly not if you're not, I mean, if you're not indigenous, basically. So, wow.
Woo.
We take a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We're going to take a little break and we'll be back.
What's up? That was Tifa. Tifa Love.
Hey, I just dropped my nuts on them. Got these niggas mad cause I don't fuck with them. If it ain't about a bag that I can't fuck with them. Tryna hurt my family, we gon' up on them. Yeah, we gon' up on them. I just dropped my nuts on them. Got these niggas mad cause I don't fuck with them. If it ain't about a bag that I can't fuck with them. Try to hurt my family, we gon' up on it. Yeah, we gon' up on it. I had to drop my nuts on them. Niggas mad, I don't fuck with them. Glock 17s with stuff in it. Run up them bags and double it. Man, pass me the bag, you fumbling. Say that shit with your chest, you mumbling. Might drop me a tape with a something in it. Only real niggas I'm fucking with. Hey, shout out the gang, my brother's lit. I'm all about a bag, fuck bitch. AC the Ream, I can never switch. Reach for my chain, you get hit. Real niggas, yeah, they feeling this. They like Ream, he killing it. And I'm going up. And I can't stop with a ceiling there. I talk about money, you been dismissed. I'm getting bread, fuck it this. I stay with a shooter, he gon' switch. I'm all about money, I'm focused. Niggas don't like me, I notice. 650 with the coldest. Murder cap, nigga no cap. I'm tryna hit him with boulders. I'm mixing a rock with the Bel Air. I'm killing myself, but I don't care. I feel like a self-made millionaire. I ain't got it yet, but I'm getting there. 30 rounds next to my underwear. Glock 24, get him out of there. When you in the streets, ain't no playing fair. Play with the family, take it there. I just drop my nuts on. Got these niggas mad cause I don't fuck with them. If it ain't about a bag that I can't fuck with them. Tryna hurt my family, we gon' up on them. Yeah, we gon' up on them. I just drop my nuts on them. Got these niggas mad cause I don't fuck with them. If it ain't about a bag that I can't fuck with them. Tryna hurt my family, we gon' up on them. Yeah, we gon' up on them.
Way up here. Yo. Do you think I'll step back? No way, not from advocation. Manier than a stray dog without the vaccination. I'm staying on track despite the dire temptation. And I'm sleeping every day, that's my daily hibernation. Never blame the God-forsaken lame and turn the generation. Give them all an education, let me ride the appellations. I was like, congratulations, but I don't think I deserve it. And if I don't, then you don't. Contemplation's work, scratch a day, count the play, disconnected all the way from June to May. I'm shouting out, see who played. Give me beat, redirected when they should have shouted out. See who played, that's a question. What happened to please? I guess it's not a new tradition. The kiss the low edition, but their eyes was a magician. What happened to the kissing? What happened to giving looks? They threw away that to get more time on Facebook. So take a look around and people look at you too. Even if they are, they're probably talking on their Bluetooth. You wake up, make your breakfast, start the day. Just say you don't really need anybody anyway. Scratch a day, count the play, disconnected all the way from June to May. I'm shouting out, see who played. Give me beat, redirected when they should have shouted out. See who played, that's a question.
I tell a bitch like this, man. It's a privilege to fuck with me, bitch. I been had money, ho. It ain't gonna affect me none if you go. I'm only gonna check my chicken.
Can't keep up with you. I stay running after you. I'll be on your line. It's hard to keep track of you, but I can't keep up. If you ask me, I'm down. I promise I'll try, but I can't keep up. I can't keep up with you. I'm the 5'5" cutie, brown eyes, tight booty, round thighs. In the studio, my mic sounds nice. In and out, then I bounce like. I can't keep up with you. I don't get where y'all go. Y'all know I got raw flow that takes me round the world like where's Waldo. Flexing, texting, so fashion X-spin. Next him, cause my phone is my best friend. I get the most love on the worst app, but I was like you know your thirst traps. Your DM slide, so I flirt back, and now we hanging like my purse strap. Then it's like tell your ex take a dirt nap. Hashtag with your bird ass. First class, I deserve that. I had to let him go because he think the earth flat. I stay running after you. I'll be on your line.
Hey, we back, Anna. We back. I don't know if you're watching, but we back on. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, we back, Anna. We back.
We're back. So,
I don't know
okay.
if you're watching.
Huh?
Turn off your YouTube. Turn off your YouTube. There we go. I think we did it. Somebody did it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I have it going on my iPad, but I have the sound up. The sound off and that. So Paul Mooney died this week.
That was tragic. I like Paul Mooney.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know who he was. I thought I learned about
What, Anna?
You know, I'm like you. I found out from Samson.
You really don't know who Paul Mooney is?
I didn't know who he was, man. Have I not been telling you that my family was like fucking European immigrants?
I know, but he's kind of like, if you wanted to say a comedian activist, he would be one of them. His jokes were like always on the cusp of racial stuff. It was like he was one of the pioneers of those kind of jokes.
Well, I've been watching him now. I mean, you know, so yeah. Well, I learn about all this from Samson. But you know, come on, Rizzo. When it comes to not knowing about people, I mean, comedians aren't that famous, most of them.
Paul Mooney is. Don't. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to edit that part of the video.
We have.
We're gonna have to edit that, everybody. She didn't mean that, y'all. Yeah, Paul Mooney is he's kind of known though. He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but it's true. But come on, have I not been telling you about how my family was like European refugees and shit?
Man, hey, Samson, if you watching this, man, you better school Anna. You gotta school Anna.
Well,
Samson, if you watching, school Anna. School her.
He did. I saw, but the point is, but one of the things about it was that, well, Samson posted it, and apparently Samson performed with them a lot, like for the past 20 years or so. And he said Paul Mooney was really, really kind and supportive of him. And so that's a big deal. I mean, Samson is a Black gay comedian. A lot of people, I mean, he has gone through a lot of shit. So, I mean, the fact that Samson posted a whole bunch of photos with him, and so yeah, so that was pretty fucking awesome. So besides being funny, he was a real cool guy. So yes, so I have been watching this stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I learned about this stuff from Samson, basically. I mean,
yeah, I don't know why. I just assumed you knew about Paul Mooney. I thought you just knew.
I really I mean, I know a lot more now than I used to, but I just really did not know anything about, I mean, American popular culture wasn't part of my life growing up. I mean, my parents listened to classical music and didn't watch TV. So yeah. And then I was just always a reader, and pretty much, I mean, if it weren't for streaming, I would not have caught up on very much at all. So I mean, one of the things I did was, I was always taken to adult films. So one of the things I did when stuff started, when I was like a lot older and had my own VCR, I mean, I didn't even, was rent a bunch of stuff I hadn't seen when I was a kid, because I didn't see kid movies. So stuff when I was a kid, and Teeny Bopper and stuff. I mean, my mom just took me to everything she did. I mean, so all of, plays in movies and everything. So yes, catching up on childhood. And then so, well, that's one reason why I am so interested in people. I mean, I'm always really interested, I mean, to hear about stuff that you like and grew up with, and people that come on the show and other people I know. I mean, I'm just interested in everything. And so culture is just huge. There's so much out there, and I just learned so much from people and learned about so much great stuff. I didn't know who Dave Chappelle was until from Sam. I mean, I learned that from Samson too.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's good too. I like Dave Chappelle.
I like him a lot. He's really funny. And just really funny, and just, but I don't know. I mean, but also just really funny, but also really serious. I mean, there's just really deep. So that's what I like about I like it's common, and from what I could see about Paul, what I've been watching so far with Paul Mooney, I mean, it's not one dimensional. Really, it's just, I mean, to hold my interest, there needs to be some more depth besides being funny. Yes, that's what I like. Okay, so we were also talking about the Rick Museum, and sort of, again, back to confronting cruelty and the past. We've been following, there's shit, I haven't seen what happened. There might have been a recent development. I'll check in our next break. But Namibia was a colony of Germany, and it was called, what was it called? Something weird, something really weird, like Southeast South Africa or something like that. Yeah, something strange like that. And so Germany colonized Namibia and massacred people. It's estimated there was a nation called the Herero. It's estimated that 80% of them were killed. I mean, it's genocide, really fucking genocide. And so there have been, Namibian officials have been meeting with German officials to talk about reparations. And this is the first time there has even been a discussion between a colonial power and a former colony about reparations, about being paid back, about being compensated for something. And basically, there's descendants. I mean, the genocide took place around 1910. So there are people living, so there's, like Germans living there and in the homes owned by their like great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. So it was, so I was listening to a podcast where different people were being interviewed. German, I mean, people, how could you put it? German Namibians and Namibians. And it was just really shocking. So none of the German descendants one of them was involved in, I mean, because they interviewed a lot of different people. He was involved in a movement for reparations, and he was giving up land and was, I mean, involved in the social movements to try and get this to happen. But one guy they interviewed just denied it. He just said that didn't happen. I guess since people deny the Holocaust, it's probably even easier for them to deny genocide against Africans. And yeah, he just said that the past is the past. And these people own like thousands of acres of land. And he's just like, no, not going to give up any of it. And, it's just that question that we've had. I just try and picture, okay, if my great grandparents stole something, would I give it back? If my great grandparent participated in slaughter, would I give it back? I mean, would I do something? I sincerely hope I sincerely hope I would. But they're looking at one of the things that they're last I checked, the thing they were doing is possibly what some folks have done in the Bahamas was creating an educational fund for the descendants of the Herero. That's not reparations. I don't think that's reparations. Do you?
Not really. Creating a fund.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like getting people to put in money to pay them, kind of like thing.
Yeah, but like like for scholarships and stuff. So it's not like, yeah.
No, I don't consider that really a fund, so to speak. I mean, that's not really reparations. It's more of, yeah, I don't know how you would put that. It's kind of like you're saying, I'm going to give you the money just to do this with. I don't know. I think reparations is more like you give them money or whatever you're giving them and they can do what they want to do with it more than you telling them what to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, if I steal $10 from you, I owe you $10.
Right. That's like someone saying, well, I stole $10 from you, but I'll put $10 towards your lunch.
Yeah.
Even though you may not want it towards your lunch, you may want to use it for something else, but they want to, they're just kind of telling you what you're going to do with your money.
Yeah.
I like land though. Land is a good one, a good reparation land. I think land could work both ways because you can either, try to fix it up and put a house on it, or if you just want to sell it, you can sell it.
Yeah.
But you have, you kind of have a choice on that one.
Yeah, land would be because land was taken. And so, people can choose to farm it and then, so the one guy they spoke to was just saying the same thing when the same thing that happened when there was land reform in Zimbabwe in the 80s. They took white people's land and turned it over to Black Zimbabweans, but there was a lot of corruption and regular people did not benefit from it like they should. And they also, renting a farm is crazy expensive. So you can't just take the farm. You need the land, you need capital, you need to be able to work, you need to have equipment and all of that. So that was the problem with what they did then, and that led to a lot of crop failure and economic collapse. So one of the guys was saying like, well, we can't. It's a new podcast I'm listening to called Crossing Continents, which I like a lot because you need to hear from people in their own words. And so this guy was basically saying like, no, I'm not going to give people land because they won't do a good job taking care of it. See, I listen to podcasts on my walk. So I think at that point I was walking on like, fuck you, man. So, you need to hear this stuff. You need to like, that's real. It's real people that are saying something didn't happen that happened. So yeah, I think they're trying to get something more than I don't know, just the educational funds. So Namibia, we support you guys. We support Global History Radio supports Namibia for the Namibians. Okay, so this was so fucked up. I just got a notice, like basically, okay, I have to pull this up. My printer stopped. It didn't warn, it said low ink and then it just didn't print. So let me get this page. I was reading a pretty interesting article about overpopulation. Okay, so haven't we always like been told, haven't we always thought that overpopulation is a problem? All right, everybody's supposed to have less kids.
Right.
But okay, so Japan's population is projected to fall from a peak of 128 million in 2017 to less than 53 million by the end of the century.
Wow, how is that?
Because people aren't having kids.
Oh, okay, but that's like half.
Yeah, and then Italy is expected to see a equally dramatic population crash from 61 million to 28 million over the same time frame. Like, yeah, population's going to split in half.
Wow.
Yeah.
But half though? That's
Yeah.
a lot. That's a big dip.
That is a lot. That is a lot. So I thought that the world was overpopulated and that was good, but you know, so one of the big problems will be whether there will be enough people in the workforce to support elders. So that's what they say some of the problems are. And it's a real problem China just fucked it up. They had that one child policy for years. So now they're paying for it because they don't have enough young people to support, I guess, to like pay into the economic system. And also, since their society, so many their girls were aborted or given up for adoption, they have like 4 times as many men as women in their society. So that's just, you know, and that creates a lot of social problems. So what needs to happen is people need to fucking become more humane and understand that there needs to be migration, because that is not true in, you know, like in Uganda. I mean, 3/4 of the population is under 30. I mean, there's a huge youth population in Africa. So crazily enough, some like Italy, I mean, the numbers were just practically, there's like there's like 2,000, you know, we've been talking about that island near Spain that people are coming to. There'll be like 600 migrants a day coming in there. So they need to let people fucking migrate because they need more people. So in Europe, in the European countries. So I'm like, yes, this can be solved. I mean, people want to immigrate, let them immigrate and treat them decent, you know, give them a fair opportunity, and that should take care of it. I mean, the other thing that should happen is, if there's really that much more older people than younger people, then money can be taken out of that. That will mean less money spent on schools, and that money can be spent for care of the elderly. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're overpopulated, and now we've been hearing about overpopulation forever, and now some progress is being made, and so people should chill about that. And the other thing is that, I mean, one of the reasons that people are having fewer kids is because they don't, in some cultures, there's, you know, people don't want to pay for them. So if you have been making more money in your life, I mean, you know, people want to be able to make more money and not spend it on kids. So if you're not spending your money on kids, you should be able to put more money away for your old age. So, you know, if you don't have kids and focus more on your career, you're going to make more money, and you shouldn't need social services in your golden years or whatever.
Right. In theory.
Yes, exactly.
Let's say in theory.
Yes. It's all in theory. But you know, I mean, people having love, you know, but yeah, and like let people, you know, the world needs to like diffuse, or like, you know, people need to just spread out more. But yeah, that, I mean, seeing populations cut in half, that's crazy. But that will be so much better for the environment.
Right. Very true.
I have a new cat. Can you believe it? I had 3 cats.
Where'd you get a new cat from? Where'd the new cat come from?
The neighbors. He moved in. He just decided he liked it. Cats do that. Yeah. He would meow and meow in front of my door. I think they were kind of neglectful. He'd meow and meow in front of my door for food. So I'd give him food. And I even had the vet come look at him because I thought he was a stray. And so they gave him his shots and fixed him, you know, which I paid for. I thought I was like doing my, you know, civic duty as a stray. But then they have a cat door, so my you know, my cats can go in and out. So yeah, he just kept coming in. Now he just decided he wants to live here. But I'm like, okay, that no more after that, man. 4 fucking cats. That's crazy.
Ooh, yeah. Never in Roselle's life. Could have 4 cats in the same house with him. Oh.
You're not allergic, are you?
I'm not allergic, but I can't do it. I couldn't deal with that. I just couldn't do it. And I was hearing all the stuff that happens to you in the background when I hear them fighting and stuff.
That's not that bad. That's not good. Come here. Come here. Say hi, Bianca.
And now I don't want to be all crazy and fighting and stuff. Now I want us to be all cool when you have it on camera.
Yeah.
But I saw all the stuff. I heard all the stuff that would happen in the background from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, she gets feisty. She's like the old lady of the house, so she gets feisty. The other cats like bug her. She's like, she just gives them this. She has an evil eye, and she scares me. But I'm like, don't look at me like that, man. You got everything you want. Okay. Oh, the other thing we were talking about, I forgot to add this part about the Dutch colonialists. Last year, the King of Holland apologized for the excessive violence of the Dutch colonialists in Indonesia. That's the country that we were talking about, where that's having a museum that shows the horrors of slavery. Okay, so in China, 21 runners were killed in a marathon. 21 people. There were hail, freezing. It was a 62-mile cross-country mountain race, and there was hail, freezing rain, and high winds. And 21 people died. That's crazy. I guess if you're having a race somewhere really rural like that, you can't, because I just think like, don't you have people stationed somewhere to take if people need to stop? But nope. Okay, this is kind of a strange story. There's okay, so Belarus is a country that's had real political problems, and a journalist named Roman Protasevich, young guy, had left the country and was in Athens in Greece, and him and his girlfriend were flying. I mean, he left the country because of the danger. Were flying to Lithuania, and their plane was forced to divert to land in Minsk, in the capital of Belarus, and they were taken off the plane. So, I mean, I don't understand why that's a hijacking. Basically, that's a government hijacking. The Belarus military took everybody off the plane and made them wait in this room. And so video has been released of these two young people. I mean, this guy's he's 26. He's a blogger and journalist that covers protests and publicizes them. And so they okay, so video has been released of, it was first released of the guy saying that he committed crimes and that he's being well treated. Everybody that knows him is saying that he was obviously tortured, that his face, that you could tell from his face, that and that the way he was holding his hands were on the table, and he kept like rubbing his hands. And I mean, I don't know what he looked like before, but they said it looked like his nose was broken and that he was missing teeth. So it's like, they don't even give a shit, man. They're gonna like they're just, because they're gonna so now, and then it looks like his girlfriend's a student, and a video was released of her as well, and she's been charged with something or other and is supposed to be locked up for 2 months. So I mean, that's like, I mean, if you can just so now airplanes aren't flying over Belarus, but I think the country, the countries of wherever the plane originated or something should be able to take some kind of action. I mean, that's terrorism, that's hijacking. So yeah. So it's pretty scary. Hopefully they'll be released. But so people are saying that Vladimir Putin is probably backing this, because I mean, they are Alexander Litvinenko is the prime minister of Belarus, and it is believed that his election was not legitimate, and this is how he treats people that criticize him. Right. So, yeah. Okay, so a camera system that uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition intended to reveal states of emotion has been tested on Uyghurs. And the Uyghurs are Muslims in China who are they are taken to concentration camps. They are, which China, and there's surveillance everywhere in the parts of the country where they live. I guess there's like all of their phones are bugged. There's cameras everywhere. They have been, China's been accused of, they are victims of forced labor, of sterilization. It's just terrible. And so a software engineer who designed this stuff spoke to the BBC anonymously, and he said that basically, I mean, people were tied to chairs, and the and that's how they that's how they did it, to try and reveal emotion. So, and then in the Ivory Coast, come here. Okay, this is the new cat. This is the new cat, everybody. This is Roman. Boy. He's a teenager. Yeah, he's kind of a little brat. Okay. So police in Ivory Coast say 22 people have been jailed for trafficking children to work on cocoa plantations. 5 of the traffickers were sentenced. They were arrested following a sweep early this month in which nearly 70 children were rescued, and they are more at risk with COVID. That's part of the school closures have led to more children being trafficked. It has also led to more girls, and I mean girls, being forcibly married off because they are not, basically they're at home, so they don't have like any social support, and people are losing money, so they just want to have fewer kids in the house. So that COVID is also driving the increase in migration, basically. So, okay. So it's kind of Biden. Okay, one of the things, I mean, back to the state of Israel, what's happening is the Democratic Party used to be really reliably pro-Israel, but that is happening less and less. Progressives are challenging that orthodoxy more. And so when Biden was speaking about the problems with, when he was speaking against anti-Islam, he also referred to the Uyghurs, the Chinese Muslims, and the Rohingya, the Muslims from Myanmar. He called it Burma, which it hasn't been called in like 30 years or something, but that's okay. So that's my Joe. Good old Joe. Joe's doing good, huh?
Wait, what's that?
That's my Joe. Joe's doing good.
Oh, that's the one you see on your chats.
No, Joe Biden.
Oh, Biden. Oh, I thought you were looking at your chats.
No, I don't know anybody named Joe on my chats.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. It looked like the way you were looking looked like you were looking at one of your comments.
Oh, no, I don't think I'm getting it. I haven't gotten any comments today.
Oh, okay.
People watched it. Okay, if you're Lamont's, our friend Lamont's son, Lamont the third, is ill. He's having some pretty serious health problems. So, Lamont, if you're listening, just like I keep saying, I'm praying for you, man. I just really, really am thinking about this. It's just real scary. And you are a strong family. And I know that you're there. You are keeping it all going. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to think what else has been happening this past week. Lots of pot. Bianca, bitch. She just bit my leg.
Wow.
She's such a little bitch. Bianca, leave me alone. Go away.
Wow. That's just crazy that cat just ran up and bit you.
Yeah, she wants something. Well, she's also like messing with my shoelaces. Okay, good. Go away, Bianca. Okay. She's really like when she wants something, she usually just like if she wants somewhere to eat or something, she'll just like sit by her food and glare at me. She's sensitive though. She loves me. She's just very moody. I've been reading a book about Eunice Hunton Carter, who was an African-American lawyer who was responsible for taking down Lucky Luciano, one of the biggest gangsters. He was the gangster that created the five families. He's one of the major guys. And she took him down. So she was really interesting, and her, she was the child of activists. Her mom like traveled all over the world as activism. So, man, just trying to keep up with all these people. So, okay, so this week, do you have Trika's show this week?
Yep, Thursday from 9 to 11.
Okay, so Thursday is Know Better, Do Better.
Know Better, Do Better.
Saturday's Duck Soup.
Yeah, Duck Soup from 8 to 10.
Yeah. We got a lot going on, but
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, Handmaid's Tale, fucking kicking ass.
Oh, so that's your show. Is it still kicking butt? Are you still feeling the same way?
Yeah. I mean, even when it's disappointing, it's so much better than anything else, and it's just amazingly shot, and yeah.
Do they do the episodes of those on Netflix? Like if you want,
it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Okay, it's a Hulu one.
Yeah. Hulu also has Woke.
Yes, I'm upset about that because I have Netflix, so I gotta get Hulu.
You can we can do a watch party. I have Hulu. We can do a watch party.
We should do that one day.
Yeah, I told Trika I would too. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's set that up. Let's do it.
Yeah, just let
That'd
me
be cool.
just let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, see, I didn't. Yeah, Keith Knight had written me back about the I didn't even the comic book, and he said something like, "Sorry, I'm." He's so nice, man. He doesn't even know me. He said something like, "Sorry, I didn't get back to you," or "I've been real busy with the second season of Woke." So I'm always like, if I connect with somebody, I want to know everything about them. So I went to watch it. So yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot. So yeah, just let me know and I'll do a watch party.
Done deal. That'll work. We can set that up.
Yeah.
Let's set that up. You know what we got to do? What we'll do is we'll practice it. We'll see how, if we Zoom it, we got to see how we can, you'd have to set it up to where you're.
That's not how the watch party works.
How does it work?
You just, it's not on Zoom. You just, yeah.
So how does it work?
You just, you can do, I mean, I haven't done it before, but it's not through Zoom. I think you send somebody an invitation to it and then they can sign on to it, I guess, but it's just through Hulu. It's not through Zoom.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Hulu did that. That's pretty cool. So you can actually have a movie and then add people to it to watch it with you. Okay, yeah, we definitely got to do that then. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm down.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, maybe we could maybe we could do it at the same time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Cool. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Keith Knight. Very nice dude.
Yes, sir.
So, oh God, she's trying to get my foot again. Looks
like your cat wants you to do something.
She does. She wants something to eat. Get away from me, Bianca. I think we should sign off.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna sign off today before Anna gets eaten up and attacked by her cat.
Okay. We are back next Tuesday from 8 to 10.
Next Tuesday, 8 to 10. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yeah. Watch party soon. Okay.
Definitely.